Well, we have to take a break in a moment, but I've been wondering all day what you thought of this Trump post where he said, quote, contrary to the fake news media, I don't fall asleep during the crooked DA's witch hunt, especially not today. Here's the kicker. I simply close my beautiful blue eyes sometimes, listen intently, and take it all in. George Conway.
That is just so perfect Donald Trump. I mean, you know, his reputation really has been in the past that he's Sleepy Donald. I mean, I've talked to people, journalists who, interviewed him and wrote books about him back in the day, and he never showed up in the office at Trump Tower before 11 a.m. or rarely ever, apparently. And we know what he did at the White House. I mean, we saw that he was not there in the morning. He wasn't an early riser to get and read his important briefing books. This is rough on him. He's got to get up early every morning. He's got to go.
Not as much Diet Coke.
Right, and he's not free to fly around the country like we are, and then the people on the telephone commercials.
Well,
sometimes he is sleeping. I know there's this huge sleeping debate, but
yes, the great debate of our time.
Right, it's the most important thing of the trial, and I mean that in no way. But sometimes he is sleeping. That is 100% true. I've seen it. People around him have confirmed to me that he has been sleeping at times that we have said he is.
Edie's here, who loved Donald Trump. Edie, why do you love Donald Trump?
I love Donald Trump because of his strength. What would collapse most people just makes him stronger, and we need a strong president right now.
Yes. Yeah. Now, we've been talking about the Trump trials, and Iris was saying she feels so sorry for him.
I do. I think they're just railroading him, and he didn't need this job. I just think he's so strong.
He loves this country, right?
Absolutely.
Chip Huggins is behind me. You might recognize him. He was a representative for South Carolina, now works for our university. Go Gamecocks. Go Gamecocks. So, Chip, what do you think about Donald Trump?
I think he is absolutely the best man for the job. We need some strength in this country, and we need it quickly.
What about these trials and what they're doing to him? I'm sure you feel sorry for him, too.
It is just absolutely a crucifixion. It's all.
Just the orange hair. We'll have to be satisfied with
Don't
that.
match a jumpsuit.
Just the orange hair. So, so you brought up an interesting point. In cases where you have a defendant, in this case, you have a client who wants his lawyers to do a certain thing and perform. There are no cameras, however, it's are they hurting his case by trying to by acting as Trump wants them to do in that courtroom where it's not about the court of public opinion, it's about the opinion of the 12 jurors? I mean, do those antics hurt him? Are they, by appeasing their client, are they hurting their case?
It could, because what they're doing is saying, Davidson, you're a sleazebag, your clients are sleazebags. Look at the people you hang around with. But Trump was part of that group, too. Yeah. Michael Cohen, who he's trying to tar, Davidson, Stormy Daniels, Karen McDougal, David Pecker. And now, it was such an interesting moment yesterday when his own lawyers, Trump's own lawyers, put Trump in the same category as Hulk Hogan and Charlie Sheen, Lindsay Lohan, and Tila Tequila.
Lindsay Lohan does not deserve that.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, these are not exactly Nobel laureates, right? This is the presumptive Republican nominee for president being put in the same category as, Tila Tequila. I mean, it's just the bizarre world we're living in.
Yeah.
So, Dave, there's speculation that could be as soon as today, Hope Hicks will take the stand. She, of course, was one of the original Trump campaign aides dating all the way back to 2015, and then she spent a few years in the White House as well. A big name. How significant might her testimony be?
I think it's huge, because it's one thing to bash Michael Cohen for his bias. Really, Cohen and Trump hate each other. We understand that. It's another thing to bash David Pecker because he has entered into a non-prosecution agreement. He has an incentive to cooperate. But Hope Hicks is a Trump loyalist. Hope Hicks rode on Air Force One with Trump, steaming Trump's clothes while Trump was still wearing them. She is someone on the inside who has no axe to grind here with Donald Trump, and she is apparently cooperating. She cooperated with the grand jury, and even though previously when she testified before Congress, she seemed to say that she didn't know anything about it, well, apparently she does, and I think that's going to provide much-needed corroboration for Michael Cohen, who is the key witness here, but he's flawed because of his prior convictions. That's why you need corroboration.
State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Ehrenberg, thank you for the analysis this morning.
I think this goes away quickly. I think it's probably better do the Charleston thing, just this time. Yeah, in 2 weeks it's fine. I think right now it's better. Okay, honey. You take care of yourself. Thanks, Pam. Yep, I'm proud of you. So long, bye. What's up, Mike?
Great poll, by the way.
Yeah.
Seen it. Great poll.
Making progress.
Big time.
And you guys are good guys.
Oh, Pastor Scott?
No, Pastor Scott. What's happening?
Oh, no.
Can we use him anymore?
Oh, yeah, 100. No, you're talking about Mark Burns. We've told him
Well,
to.
I don't mean that. Mark Burns, can we use him anymore?
No.
Richard Lefrak, I'm sorry, Richard Lefrak just called. He just had, we have a chance. He had an idea for you.
Okay. So we got served from the New York Times. I told you this regarding to unseal the divorce papers with Ivana. We're fighting it. Kasowitz is going to.
Should never be able to get that done.
Never. Kasowitz doesn't think they'll ever be able. They don't have a.
Give me a joke, please.
They don't have a legitimate purpose.
And you have a woman that doesn't want to unseal.
Correct.
So you've been handling it.
Yes, and it's
Well,
all.
that's been going on for a while.
For about 2-3 weeks now.
All you have to do is delay it for.
Even after that, it's not going to ever be opened. There's no purpose for it. Told you about Charleston. I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David. So that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with.
So what are we going to pay?
Funding, yes, and it's all the stuff, because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that, and I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay for cash.
No. I got no. Hey, Don, how are you?
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more...
This regarding to unseal the divorce papers with Ivana. We're fighting it. Kasowitz is going to...
Should never be able to get that done.
Never. Kasowitz doesn't think they'll ever be able. They don't have a...
Give me a joke, please.
They don't have a legitimate purpose.
And you have a woman that doesn't want to unseal.
Correct.
So you've been handling it.
Yes, and it's all...
That's been going on for a while.
For about 2-3 weeks now.
All you have to do is delay it for.
Even after that, it's not going to ever be opened. There's no purpose for it. Told you about Charleston. I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our.
I think the reason that the poll numbers are reflecting what they're reflecting is that first, Ms. Griswold's efforts to try to interfere with an election by removing a candidate from office by virtue of taking that candidate off the ballot was unprecedented. That didn't go over well at the Supreme Court. It lost unanimously 9-0, which suggests that it was an effort that should never have been engaged in the first place. And with regard to the cases,
so,
I think
Robert,
the electorate.
Well,
hold on a second.
Because let's just take a step back. We're talking about election lies, and what you just said is an election lie.
It wasn't a lie that the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that it was an improper exercise of state power to remove a candidate from the ballot.
Robert,
that's a pretty extraordinary
let's let
thing.
her finish and
the election lie was that you said that I brought this effort to remove Donald Trump. I was a defendant. And just like that jury pool is judged, is sitting there to look at the facts and judge. They didn't raise their hand. They didn't try to do anything to impede the former president. They're in a very similar situation. So I would ask you, stop lying. Please learn the facts, because all these lies actually do matter.
Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you having a little back and forth there with Robert Ray. Thank you both very much. And our panel.
So I'm just sitting here in the back of the car thinking, do you ever look at something and did that really happen?
Well, I'm not allowed to testify. I'm under a gag order. I guess, right? I can't even testify on that. Now, we're going to be appealing the gag order. I'd love to answer that question. It's a very easy question, the easiest question so far. But I'm not allowed to testify because this judge, who's totally conflicted, has me under an unconstitutional gag order.
Let's deal with this crazy situation. Every single day, well, last few days, Trump rocks up to court, says a whole load of garbage, it gets broadcast everywhere, and nobody says anything. There's no qualification on anything.
Moments ago, Mr. Trump falsely claimed he's not allowed to testify because he's under a gag order. That's not right, correct?
Here's the biggest crap he's come out today with. He's not allowed to testify, even though he wants to testify because he's under a gag order. The problem with what Trump does, says something, knowing full well that most of his sycophants and those that follow everything he's got to say are not going to check any facts.
Testify is a term of art. It means take the stand in court, raise your right hand, and swear to tell the truth, and you testify in front of a court, in front of the jury. The gag order has nothing to do with that. Of course he can testify. He has an absolute right to testify, and he is not restricted in terms of what he can talk about as long as it's relevant, admissible evidence.
Can I ask you a question? When Kayleigh McEnany says the press, who is the press? Who exactly is she pointing out? Because at the moment, for example, Fox the 5 is the most watched show on cable news. A lot of people watch Fox News. So when she says the BS she comes out with, is she a liar? There's a question. Is Kayleigh McEnany a lie? Yeah, is she a liar? Straight question.
Here's the sad part. The press will let him get away with this. If Donald Trump had delivered those exact same remarks in the exact same timeline, the White House press briefing room would be at a fever pitch. I would be yelled at. He would be yelled at. We would be asked, do you denounce the support from any anti-Semitic protester? And unless we denounced every young person in the country, that wouldn't be enough. And then we would be asked, will you pull their student loans? If we didn't answer, there would be a ferocious roar from the White House press corps.
So you know that Laura Ingraham doesn't have any sense of humour? Like, one of these people that can dish it. That's what Fox do. They employ people who can put a joke out but can't take a joke. What is it? Dipshit? No, it's not dipstick. It's Von Schitterpants or something like that. Ingraham is upset. This is the same person, by the way, that only 24 hours ago was referring to Chris Christie as a fat pig. That's okay. Anyway, back to... Sorry.
I apologize for this update ahead of time.
Oh boy.
Todd Blanche, the Trump attorney, is specifically reading a post that Michael Cohen made on Twitter on April 22nd, in which he refers to Donald Trump as Von Schitzenpants. Anna Bash, I know you want to weigh in on Von Schitzenpants.
This is CNN. Where does James Earl Jones go to get his voiceover back? Joining me now.
We haven't done education for a while, so let's do some educational content. What is the history of Don Von Schitzenpants? Sorry. Michael, go in.
Magic. And it's bad news. Bad things are happening. I'm upset.
He's going like, Donald Von Schitzenpants. That's what he was doing. He was trying to figure out a way how he can sort of squeeze that sucker out.
George Conway in a tweet said, Trump is confused and a pathological liar. I would actually say that's a compliment. What is crazy about this? This is somebody who wants to be, well, one of the most powerful people in the world, but has a basic problem of telling the truth. I tend to think if you said to him, are you married to Melania Trump? He'd go, who? And then say, fake news. So I was actually listening to this thing the other day. It's quite fascinating. They were talking about how they can teach pigeons, this is pigeons, which seeds to go to. So the question is, smarter than a pigeon, yes or no? More intelligent than a pigeon, yes or no? Higher IQ than a pigeon, yes or no? I got a hat trick of no's. You?
The recreational marijuana is the most broad non-medical marijuana, It would be everywhere. The state would smell like it. We don't need that in Florida. The abortion amendment would be the most radical abortion regime in the world. It eliminates parental consent for minors, and it allows abortion up until birth and doesn't even require a physician to be involved. So vote no on both of those. But I think regardless of how those turn out, Republicans are going to carry the day in Florida pretty significantly.
Another question. Is this funny? Yes or no?
Jeffries and Whip Clark and Cher Aguilar, by coming out yesterday and saying that they would move to table this and take this issue off the table, essentially shows that we want to get shit done. Like we are the ones that provided the votes to lift the debt ceiling. If we didn't provide those votes, America and the world would be in economic collapse. We are the ones who have provided the votes that have avoided every shutdown that Republicans have tried to take us to. We are the ones that provided the votes to expel that biggest fraudster to ever come to Congress, George Santos. And we are the ones that provided the votes to keep Ukraine in the fight. So of every vote of consequence, this Congress, we've shown that we want to get things done. And so we're not going to let a chaos agent like Marjorie Taylor Greene just gum up the works here.
You know, Marge, I think everybody's just trying to support somebody who can get work done. Yeah. And you're hoping that all the Democrats keep him in power so that you can say, see, you think what we think, but we don't. We don't think that at all. Mm-hmm. We're thinking, hey, you really want to make America great again? Make it work. Yeah.
So no lie, we found some CC. We found some CC. So no lie, we found some CCTV footage of the. That's what happens when you try and do things in the back of the car with your son playing with his toys. We found some CCTV footage. The joke isn't going to work now.
Trump's just outside of a fire station. After leaving court, he's got pizza for the guys. This is typical Trump. Let's poke in and see what he's up to right there. And Joe Biden, he can walk up to a firehouse, a police station, he can walk into a boardroom, a bowling alley, or a bar and have a conversation with absolutely anybody. We don't have any audio on him right now, but apparently he's going inside to talk to these firefighters, which is, by the way, right outside the studio, folks. This is incredible. The fact that he leaves court, goes and campaigns with these people.